Yeah, and this is one of those things like, what does it matter either way?
But exists with us in this moment. Like if you jump off a cliff, you will die.
Yeah.
Like gravity's real.
Yeah.
You get pulverized.
Yeah.
No doubt. But
it's because you jumped.
It's also like your consciousness is the reason why all this is here.
Yeah,
because you're interacting with it.
The manifestation of everything, though. So I get what you're saying. Like
the structure.
Existentially, does it exist if we're not touching it, feeling it? It's what they say about like the Native Americans when they first saw the ships, they didn't know what they were.
Yeah, so that's bullshit. That's not real.
Exactly, but like, but I wouldn't say that it's not real in that they didn't understand what it was. In the distance, they think they were like mountains moving closer.
They probably just saw these giant pieces of wood and was trying to figure out. They had structures.
They might not know it's wood.
But didn't they have structures?
I don't know if they're fishing at that time. I'm not sure. But if you see them in the distance, you see them moving forward.
Right.
I get the idea. Like your brain can't map what that is yet.
Right, you'd be freaked out.
So it's mapping to whatever you know. So it's like, oh shit, is it low tide? And there's some like sandbars out there that are slowly approaching. What the fuck is that? That's kind of what you're saying. We can't I can't understand like what a glacier is without knowing what it is. When I see a glacier for the first time, I can recognize glaciers everywhere. But if I take someone who's never seen a glacier to it,
I think this guy's going further than that. I think he's saying the glaciers aren't real unless you're there.
But if someone is there at every point in time throughout the world, then everything is.
Yes.
And we have enough people where there's some people in Antarctica. All right, so Antarctica's always there. There's some people in Alaska. Okay, so that's always there. If we have enough people throughout the world is this congealed substance that we can look at, feel, touch, and experience.
Yeah, and it might be like the map of the game is like those NASA satellite photos of Earth. That's the map of the game. Like if you wanted to like go through a video game, and before you go through the game, it shows you like these are the arenas in which you're playing,
and you can choose one of them.
You can choose one, or you know which level you're going to.
Yeah,
like that's those NASA 3D photos of the Earth. That's what Earth is. Earth is like the place where we play this consciousness game.
When you're sitting at home and you're like thinking about these things, do you like talk to your kids about it?
No, that's too weird to talk to kids about.
What about your wife? Are you like just going, hey?
She would go, what?
Yeah.
You know my wife. She'd be like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Okay, so you're walking. So you get out of the sauna, you have a nice sweat, you're walking around your house, you're looking at the stars, you see fucking Saturn or whatever in the sky.
If she wants to talk about something like that, she'll bring it up. Like if she wants to talk about something heavy, it's not like I wouldn't talk about something heavy with her.
Yeah.
But generally, like I come home from work, she's been with the kids, she's doing this and that. We eat dinner, we have fun, how was school, have a good time, maybe we watch a little Severance together. But if she's like, did you ever think that maybe this is all isn't real? I'd be like, I'm so glad you brought this up.
Okay, so do you struggle battling with because some people when they think about this stuff, they feel their own insignificance, and it's very depressing for them.
Oh, it doesn't matter. Like this.
So you're unaffected entirely that like your existence in this lifetime over the grand scheme of things could not be important.
It can't be important.
But it is.
But it is to you and it is to the people around you. So
if that makes up our reality, then it's important.
Sure. But why think about that? Why think about whether or not you're important? I just don't waste any time thinking about whether or not I'm important.
Maybe important is like a pretentious word. Not important. I mean like.
Don't think about the end of the game. Play the game. Don't go, oh my god, it's gonna end.
Yes.
Oh, my quarter's gonna run out. Just play the game.
But some people won't play the game if they know there's no game at all, or they know it is completely a game. I think that there's this like urgency that is applied. Like, okay, I have to create the art that I want to create in this time in my life. Like time is something I've been thinking about like nonstop since I had a kid. It's like time. How do I spend time? It maybe is cliche, but it is the thing that I like value the most. And everything gets broken up into these little quadrants of time. Okay, I'm out here. I'm doing some pods. Okay, I'm away from my daughter. I'm away from my wife. How do I get back that time? How can I like create these events? Like I don't even buy expensive shit. I like to take a vacation with my friends. I want us all to stay in the villa together because when we're in different hotel rooms, we miss out on those little moments in between.
Right.
Like time. And to me, it's like I'm putting an importance on this, I guess the game you say you're playing. I want to experience the most of this game as I possibly can while I'm here. And I have all these examples of people like finishing the game. You know, my dad's, you know, he's got dementia and all this stuff. It's like you're seeing your ability to I guess, manifest that reality, or you're at the kind of end of your game, knock on wood. But like, the idea of like me being important, I don't care about like that in terms of how people see it. But in this time I have here, I want to believe it's really important, and I want to soak as much of it up as I can. And I think sometimes when you're like, it's pointless, it's nothing. Like, I felt like Jim Carrey was going through that moment. Like, there are these times where I'd see Jim talking about like the insignificance of the world, and I feel like that can kind of like lead people to sadness and depression. I feel like sometimes you need the battery in your back of importance. Not you being important to other people, but the time you spend here being valuable.
Yeah. Well, that's part of gratitude too. That's one of your best traits. And having gratitude is, you would recognize that this time is precious, and use it to the best of your ability. And really, like, you enjoy it, like, soak it up.
Did you see Everything Everywhere All at Once?
Yeah, I did.
Like, I thought that was a beautiful way of showcasing how people look at like the nothingness of life.
Yeah.
This girl sees it as potentially nothing and falls into her own kind of, I guess you could call it this depression. Why is it worth it? What the fuck is going on?
Right.
And she kind of sees her father as this like weak guy that's getting like walked over. And then comes to realize that like he chooses to deal with the nothingness with kindness and love with everybody, and in reality he's like a hero. Like, his perspective on the world is the best. When confronted with the nothingness of life, he chooses to like be compassionate and loving, and it's actually like the most heroic stand you can take. I think it's very easy to just submit to nothingness. You're determined is maybe the wrong word, but like, you like hard shit. The day you're no longer here is when you can no longer do hard shit. I feel like your day's full of it, and it's just constant. Like, wake up, I'm getting in the fucking ice bath. Like, everything I see you do is hard. You know what I mean? Like, you could shoot a fucking thing with a gun if you want. You could shoot animals with a gun. I'm surprised you don't run on them with a fucking knife. Like, literally, like, I feel like one day I'm gonna see you go, I'm going knife hunting. I'm going bear knife hunting. Just because it's a difficult thing to do. And I don't know, maybe that's how you process existence.
Well, I think if you are a person who enjoys challenges and finds a reward in like working hard and overcoming that resistance inside of you, as Pressfield talks about, that thing that wants you to be lazy, if you have value in that, you find value in that, and it helps you live like a more enriched, more fulfilling life, you tend to just keep doing that. Because this is like, if I know for a fact, me, as much as I work out and take care of myself, if I take like 3 days off,
you'll start to get used to it.
I start getting depressed. I start getting anxious. I start feeling weird. Like, I don't feel level. Like, a couple of days off, just like, I just feel gross. I was just like, why is the world so weird? And then I'll have one good hard workout, and then I'm like, oh, everything's fine. And then I'm like, how many people need that and don't get it?
What is that?
It's just a human body has certain requirements because it's designed to run from tigers. Okay, the human body is designed to constantly
So you have to feed it.
Yeah,
you have to feed it. You have to deal with these difficult things because for millions of years, that's how our brains and bodies have been processed to work efficiently. And if you don't put it in those situations, what is the messaging like? You're wasting this time here. Like,
Look,
what is that internal messaging?
You can have both, right? You can have people that have brilliant minds and shit bodies. They exist. There's people that don't take care of their body at all, and Stephen Hawking. But he had a disease. But
he wasn't like an Adonis before.
Right, that's true too.
Yeah.
Right.
People act like it's a big difference.
Yeah, but the best way for your brain to work well is if your body is healthy and has energy. It doesn't mean you have to be a weightlifter. It doesn't mean you don't have to do any specific thing. If you like running, run. If you like tennis, play tennis. If you like yoga, do yoga. But you should 100% do something. Find a thing you enjoy doing. That's why golf or tennis is such a great thing, because it's cardio and it's fun.
Yeah.
Right? You're doing a fun thing. You're playing with your friends.
Also
community.
Shit.
Yeah. Community.
Huge.
Yeah. But you're active. If you don't do that, I don't think your body is in sync. And I think there's a whole lot of people running out there taking care of things with pills that you could fix way better and feel and look better. More importantly, it would help in every aspect of your life. It would help you think clearer. You'd have less stress. You'd be more reasonable. Like, go fucking do something with your goddamn body.
Yeah.
And if you don't do that, I really believe if you don't do that, you have less potential. You could have a genius mind that allows you to overcome that potential with just pure intelligence, just a pure insight on the world that's extraordinary. You could overcome bullshit hormone levels and bullshit, body fat levels. You could, but you shouldn't.
Yeah.
You're so fucking smart. You got a terrible body.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
You have one of these goddamn things.
Yeah.
You can make that thing awesome.
Yeah.
You don't even do anything.
Yeah.
You have one of these.
Yeah.
You have one fucking body, and yours is a dumpster.
Yeah.
Yours is a dumpster for potato chips. That's crazy.
What do you like when you're talking to these high functioning dudes? You're talking to like an Elon. Do they value exercise and stuff like that at all? Like, can he even put that in his day? Like,
Elon's a different animal. There's no other human I've ever met like him. No, I don't think he exercises much. I think maybe a little bit. I know he was thinking about fighting Zuckerberg, so he did some training. Where did he train with Lex and who else? Was it George St. Pierre? They put up a photo of it. It was George, right? So he trains with one of the greatest UFC fighters of all time.
Yeah.
Lex Friedman, our boy, who is also a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt.
Yeah.
And I think he just did a little bit of that and was like, fuck this.
Shout out Lex, man.
Yeah, there it is. Look at Lex. John Danaher, the great John Danaher, the greatest Jiu-Jitsu coach of all time. So he was like learning some stuff.
I'll never forget Lex coming to my wedding uninvited and blacking out. I'll never forget that. Thank you, Lex. We really appreciate that.
In all fairness, it was my fault that he blacked out.
You forced him to drink.
I kind of got him a drink and didn't realize the Russian in him had a mind of its own. That Russian mixed with that fucking American bourbon. The motherfucker was off to the races.
So funny. Whitney was like, I'm going to take Lex. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I like that guy. And then I remember seeing him on like a beach chair just pass the fuck out.
Oh, dude, we had an adventure.
Yeah. So you guys went to Vegas later that night.
We go to Vegas that night because Whitney had
like a
wedding. She had a wedding. She did a wedding at someone's house. It was a corporate
it was a gig, yeah.
But it was a wedding at someone's house.
Yeah.
I think it was a wedding or a birthday. Whatever it was.
Yeah.
Private party at someone's house. Must have been a birthday. So we fly from your wedding.
Yeah.
Hey, congratulations. Yeah. We hang out and then hop on a jet. It's only 30 minutes to Vegas. We get to Vegas. By the time we land, Lex is lit.
Yeah.
I mean, Lex is
lit at the party.
Lit.
Yeah.
So Whitney performs at this lady's house.
Didn't you go on?
I introduce her.
Oh, I thought you did like 5 minutes.
I was drunk too.
Okay.
I went up and said happy birthday or whatever to the lady. I forget what it was. I'm pretty sure it was birthday. And then I bring up my good friend, one of the most hilarious comics in the world. Whitney, come.
Yeah.
And then we get on the plane, or we get in the car to go to the plane to head back.
Yeah.
And there's no plane. They never booked a return flight. So we tried to get a return flight because they got her a little shitty private jet to get there.
Yeah.
So then we try to get a return flight. We cannot. I call my service. They can't. The quickest they could do is in the morning.
Yeah.
Like, what do you guys want to do? So we decide that we're gonna get a limo, and so have a car service drive us back to LA.
Love it.
So it's a 4-hour drive or whatever the fuck it is. With me, my wife, Whitney, and Lex.
I remember you just sending me videos of Lex passed out at different parts of the casino.
That's at the airport. That's at the airport.
He's like that for the last 12 hours. He was like that at the wedding.
He was obliterated. I mean, he went hard. That boy goes hard.
Yeah.
He goes hard. It makes you want to not drink.
Yeah.
There's certain people I'm around, I'm like, I think I'm done.
Yeah.
I think I'm done.
I feel like less people are drinking.
Well, it's really
that might be your influence.
It's a good idea to not drink so much.
I wonder if the alcohol companies are concerned. They're trying to find something.
There's always gonna be drunks.
I see it. Like beer consumption way down.
The problem is it's poison.
Yeah. But
It's
everything's poison.
wonderful, lovely poison.
Yeah.
My favorite poison is wine. I love
great poison.
a great glass of wine.
Do we have a little nice little red going on here?
Do we have any red wine here?
I want to know what you're drinking.
Okay. Do you want some?
I mean, if you're gonna have a glass, I'll have a glass.
Oh, we'll sip.
Just a little
I
sip.
kind of cut way back on my alcohol consumption.
Oh, Really?
Yeah, way back. I would go, every time I'd go out to dinner, I'd have a drink or two.
Yeah.
Every time I'd go to the club, I'd have a drink or two. And then one day I sat down, I was like, that's like 4 days a week, 5 days a week. That's like a drink or two, 5 days a week. Like, how would you feel if you didn't have a drink or two, 5 days a week? So I didn't have any drinks for like 2 weeks, and I feel a lot better.
Really? So am I breaking your, like, streak right now?
Yeah, you would be breaking my streak.
I don't want to fuck your streak up.
Well, we don't have to drink it then. But
actually, let's break it.
I don't mind.
Yeah.
I think the key is, like all things, it's all about moderation. But the reality of alcohol is it's basically poison.
Yeah, but it's got great social utility.
Oh,
I feel like people undermine the value of alcohol and how...
It ain't around for all these years because it sucks.
And, like, if you travel, you don't get to experience certain cultures in their truest form without them
Exactly.
consuming alcohol.
Right.
Like, if you've gone to, like, Ireland, go to Dublin, like, during the day, they're very different people.
That's how you know.
And they seem kind of, like, tight and dour.
I'm a
And
quiet
then
guy.
at night at the pub,
I
after,
chose
like, a
to
few
have fun.
Guinness, it seems almost cliche, but everybody's singing and dancing, and there's so much, like, love and connectivity, and you see why all this great, like, literature, music, and poetry just comes from this tiny little island. And you're like, oh, wow, you really need that. Like, it is a tough place to live, and you gotta stuff everything down, and you need a release valve. Same thing with Russia. Like, when I was in Russia, seeing them on the drink, they're way...
On the drink.
On the drink. They're warmer. There's warmth
That's a great
in the
way
culture.
to explain it on the drink. For real, we have fancy glasses.
Okay. What are you thinking,
Well,
Joe?
what is... which one was the one that you just touched? Grab that one. Where your hand is.
Yeah.
that's
So-
what we're gonna decide.
so that's the
97 is
thing.
a long time ago.
How do you find that balance where, like, you kind of
That's
need it?
old ass wine, huh? How do you find what balance?
Just like it allows people to access this part of themselves that they might feel is like pushed down or...
But the problem is if you use it too much, right?
Yeah.
And it's also the problem is, like, I notice if I drink 3 or 4 nights in a week, I don't feel as good.
Yeah.
And when I don't drink at all for 2 weeks and I feel like really good all the time, I'm like, what am I retarded?
Why am I drinking?
Why would I drink?
Yeah.
Like, I don't need to drink to have a good time.
Yeah.
But, you know, when you're at the bar or at the club, rather, and everyone's being social, and Tony's like, who wants a drink? Anybody want a drink? And they're like, hey, cheers.
Yeah.
It's just about discipline. It's just about, like, if you feel like you're going off the rails, hit the brakes.
Yeah.
Settle down.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
You gotta, but a lot of folks don't have any of that, unfortunately. And, you know, they'll be sober for a long time, and then one glass of Chardonnay later, they're doing cocaine and headed to Vegas. It was Les Friedman.
Blowing rails on a breakfast. Who does coke and passes out?
Oh, there's something so funny about people passed out. That's it's the funniest shit
Yeah,
ever.
they've become children. They're babies. They're like infants. You know, they're just completely in control of their body.
Yeah, you're not even there. Hello.
Yeah.
Look at you out cold. It's just a weird aspect to people that we have to shut off.
Yeah.
That's so weird. I was just watching this video about this guy who he did a radio broadcast in Times Square where he stayed up for 8 days.
Okay.
And this guy started having crazy hallucinations. He was having his REM sleep. His REM cycles in his brain were going off while he was awake. So he was living inside nightmares.
Yeah.
I'll send it to Jamie. It was crazy. I think Duncan sent it to me. It's really wild.
They say that